Hello everybody, welcome to our podcast, Gita, a Mantra for Success. Hello everybody, so welcome back to episode 3 and we will continue with chapter 3 of Perima's interpretation. In our last episode, we discussed chapter 2 and Karma Yoga. Let's just recap. Karma Yoga is doing the right thing, taking action, giving 100% to whatever you're doing and not being too attached to the outcome. So chapter 3 basically takes the concept of Karma Yoga further. Today we'll summarize this episode by sharing 6 key life lessons.
Okay, so let me go with point number 1.
Okay.
And it is action is a must. Action as in karma. So there are 3 types of actions or karma. One is sattvic karma, which is selfless action.
Right.
And number 2 is rajasic karma, which is selfish action.
Okay.
And tamasic karma, which is harmful action. Okay. So now Krishna is very clear here. Your action is your karma. And what goes around, that comes around.
Newton law.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
You do something good for others, something good will happen to you. You do something terrible to others, something terrible will happen to you.
Pretty simple.
It's a very straightforward law of karma.
Makes sense.
So we should always root for sattvic action, right?
Makes
Sattvic
sense.
karma.
Selfless action, right?
Yeah. But is it that easy? So Krishna gives us some techniques for applying this sattvic karma. The first step is that we have to begin with eliminating, or I would say decreasing vasana.
Okay.
So vasana in Sanskrit means a behavioral tendency based on our wish or desire. Whatever we act, whatever we do, it is always based on our wish or our desire, right?
Okay. Makes
So can we let go of our desire in one go?
sense. Very doubtful.
Yeah.
Right.
Then, just be mindful of your desire, because karma yoga is all about taking the right action, and that action is always influenced by your desire.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And I would also add and say the right attitude. And that brings us to point number 2.
Okay.
Krishna speaks about our attitude towards our action. Because now let's understand the ideal attitude. The attitude of Karma Yoga comprises of 5 aspects of knowledge or buddhi. The first aspect is samatva buddhi. That basically means one needs to remain calm but alert in all situations.
Okay.
One should not get overly excited or agitated with every new situation. So there'll be a change. It should not fluster you or give you anxiety or stress with any new situation. The second one is swadharma buddhi. One should do self-analysis to understand where his or her strongest desires lie. This is again talking about being more mindful of your emotions.
Yeah.
The third one is samarpana buddhi. One should always dedicate all his actions to something that is higher. Only you can push your limit, you know your limit, but you have to challenge yourself. The fourth one is asanga buddhi. One should constantly assess whether he is attached to any material object, person, emotion, action or possession. The fifth one is prasada buddhi. While performing actions, one should not keep an eye on the result, whether it is positive or negative.
Yeah, of course. Instant gratification is the root cause of our misery. Brilliant.
Right.
So now let's move to point number 3.
Go on.
It is about inaction. We spoke about action, now it's about inaction or not taking any action.
So the opposite.
Opposite,
Right.
which is bad. One might say like, oh yeah, I'm very happy, I need nothing, I don't need to work hard. And they don't take any action, right? They don't really push themselves.
Right.
I'm happy they're content, but there is a trap there. Are you using this as an excuse to be inactive? Are you lazy? So Krishna points out that he himself engages in action even after having no need or desire to have anything. So what I'm trying to say here is one should not remain idle. One should not be inactive.
And that is actually a very famous saying. An ideal mind is the devil's workshop. Let's move on to point number 4. Point number 4 is about yagya. So yagya is a ritual sacrifice with a specific objective. In Hinduism, it is all about worshipping a deity, offering, sacred things to fire, chanting mantras, giving prasad, stuff like that. But in today's context, yajna can be characterized as gratitude or a sense of sharing. Krishna keeps saying that one who does not know how to show appreciation is a dim-witted person. The second one is sharing. Sharing does not mean just sharing your wealth. That is also part of sharing, but it also means sharing your knowledge, helping someone. So when you do something good for others, you help someone, that is also called yajna. So there are a few different types of yajnas.
Okay.
We'll go one by one. First one is Deva Yajna. A portion of your day is allotted to the worship of God. Now, if you're like me, who thinks that God within me, right?
Okay.
Then basically, portion of your day is allotted to yourself, devoted to yourself. That could be
self-care,
exercising,
Okay.
meditation, calm your mind,
yoga,
be mindful, yoga, things like that.
So basically,
right?
bettering yourself.
Exactly, challenge yourself, as we just talked about.
Okay,
before,
so that
right?
is Deva Yajna.
Deva Yajna. The next one is Pitru Yajna, they said. Worship of your forefathers.
Oh, your roots.
Your roots, your ancestors,
your identity,
where you came from, things like that.
Stick to your roots. That's
Correct.
what is
Be
meant.
grounded.
Be grounded. Perfect.
The third one is Rishi Yajna. That is worshipping our scriptures. We're talking about Gita, things like that,
Yeah.
Vedas,
Or, read books.
Exactly. Scriptures is all about the written
Knowledge,
word, knowledge. Yes, correct. The fourth one is Manusha Yajna. All types of social service to human beings come under this yajna. The last one is Bhuta Yajna. This encompasses environmental and animal protection come under this.
Okay, so now let's move to point number 5. Krishna is talking about renunciation. The context is like Arjuna is like, I would rather renounce everything and go to jungle rather than fighting here, right? That is
Right.
the context. So here Krishna is saying, renunciation should not be accepted without purification of the heart. What Krishna is trying to tell here is, you won't have any inner peace, no matter what you do, if your heart is filled with hatred, anger, jealousy, envy, greed, and so on, right? So let it go.
It takes years of practice to let these emotions go.
Because we're
Right.
all humans, but we
Yeah.
can still be mindful about our vices.
Absolutely. So let's move on to point number 6. This is identify your swadharma. Swadharma means your right, your duty, or your nature, or your role in your society, your talent. Discover it. Right? There are two things. We are conditioned by attraction to the pleasant and aversion to the unpleasant. So Krishna is saying, do not fall into this illusion. Right? It is far better to struggle following your own path than to succeed in someone else's path.
Brilliant. I love this quote.
Nothing is ever lost when following your dharma, which is duty or purpose. But competition or competing in others' dharma breeds fear and insecurity. So let me just break it down. Pretending to look good by emulating others will eventually fail us. And imagine we are busy comparing our lives with others, we miss exploring and experiencing the best within us.
Wow. Lastly, let me explain this equation,
Okay,
which I really love.
go on.
This is the equation of kama, irsha, and krodha.
Okay.
Kama, which is deep, extensive desire or lust. Okay? Lust is all about wanting what others have. Like you said just now, not discovering what you have, but always comparing your lives with others, right? And now that kama or lust leads to irsha or greed or jealousy. Because you want what others have.
Makes sense.
And now that greed or jealousy leads to krodha or anger. Because you start thinking you don't have what others have.
Makes perfect sense.
So now that combination of kama, irsha and krodha causes frustration or misery in our life.
Of course.
Because we start thinking that we are a failure because we do not have what others have. The reality is we never try to discover what we have.
Makes perfect sense. True. So I think that is where we should actually wrap up today. I think it was a great episode. We should get back next week. But before we go to chapter 4, let go of your
Kama, irsha and krodha.
Yes. Thank you very
Okay.
much.